Hello, A. Bradley Goodman here today with the latest law news. Families of dead passengers just lost a seriously long legal battle to prevent an alleged overly lenient settlement that the U.S. Department of Justice made with Boeing Corporation with respect to the crashes of its 737 MAX aircraft, the one that's had so many problems. Boeing stood accused of overtly falsifying safety information about problems with the automated flight control system of that plane in order to get that plane approved on false pretenses by the FAA. The Justice Department and Boeing reached a deferred prosecution agreement which will allow the company to entirely avoid being charged with any crime. Instead, it will simply pay a hefty fine to the U.S. government and give a promise that it will, in fact, reform. Prior to rejecting the family's arguments, however, back in January, the same judge who issued this decision presided over the arraignment of Boeing's chief aerospace safety officer, Mike Delaney, who entered a not-guilty plea at that time. At that time, the judge listened to the relatives of the dead who explained how the crashes affected their lives and said he was very sympathetic. The families were seeking harsher penalties for Boeing, including forcing them to operate under an independent monitor who would oversee all the plane makers' compliance with the criminal settlement, among other things. Now, Judge O'Connor, the judge over the case, said that he was still sympathetic to the family's position, but that their rights under the law had been, quote-unquote, substantially and meaningfully satisfied. He said that he felt it was, in fact, a mistake, just as they say, for the Justice Department to be so lenient and to just give Boeing a slap on the wrist, but that the court had no jurisdiction to reject a deferred prosecution agreement. The judge claimed he couldn't modify the Boeing agreement terms to, quote-unquote, adequately reflect the court's assessment that doing so would, in fact, better effect justice for the crime victims. That is, the families of the dead passengers. According to him, he is constrained by limits to his authority that have been imposed by Congress, and he cannot change anything, regardless of how he feels about it. Well, the families say they'll appeal to a higher court in pursuit of the hope that in addition to putting some extra money in the government's collective pocket, some teeth can also be put into the prosecution agreement that's been reached by the Biden Justice Department with Boeing. We'll keep you updated on this story. In the meantime, if you like this video and find it useful, do put a like on it and subscribe so you'll be informed as to when we get the next video out, which we're going to be doing on a regular basis. Thanks, and have a nice day.